Look, everyone's out here talking about the superpowers, the confidence, the energy, the magnetic aura. And yeah, that stuff is real. But nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about what actually happens when things go wrong on this path. The dark side. The stuff that almost made me quit. That's what we're getting into today.
What's good, guys? If you're new here, welcome. If you've been on this channel for a while, you already know I don't do fluff. I don't do the fake motivation. I'm not here to sell you a fantasy. I've been practicing semen retention for over a year now, consecutively. And I want to be crystal clear, it has genuinely changed my life. My focus, my drive, my relationships, the way I carry myself, all of it shifted. Real talk. But here's what I wish someone had told me before I started. There's a shadow side to this practice that can absolutely wreck you if you're not prepared. And I've seen it happen to good men in this community over and over again. I remember when I hit around day 45 the first time. I felt like I was losing my mind. Not in a dramatic movie way. In a quiet, unsettling, why is nobody talking about this kind of way? And I searched everywhere online. Nothing. Just guys posting about glowing skin and girls staring at them in Walmart. That wasn't my experience at 45 days. Not even close. So this video is the one I needed back then. Let's get into it.
The anxiety spike. The energy surge that comes with retention, and it's real, it builds fast, has nowhere to go if you're not directing it. And when that energy has no outlet, it doesn't just sit there peacefully. It turns into anxiety, sometimes into rage. After about 3 weeks on my first long streak, I started waking up at 3 a.m. with my heart racing. No reason, just lying there, mind firing like a machine gun. I thought something was medically wrong with me. There's actually a physiological reason for this. When you stop ejaculating, testosterone and DHT levels begin to rise. There's a well-documented spike around day 7, and the energy continues to build. Your nervous system, which was conditioned to regular release as a kind of pressure valve, is now dealing with a reservoir it doesn't know what to do with. If you've also been addicted to pornography, your dopamine system is simultaneously going through withdrawal. That combination, it's a lot. This is where most men quit, and they think semen retention failed them. It didn't. They just weren't ready for the storm before the calm.
The ego inflation problem. Here's one that's gonna sting a little. And I say this with love because I lived this myself. Around the 60 to 90 day mark, some men, not all, but some, start developing what I can only call a retention ego. You start feeling superior. You look at other men and think you've unlocked something they haven't. You start treating people differently. Your patience for ordinary people drops. You get irritable when things don't go your way because subconsciously you feel like your discipline entitles you to results. I caught myself doing this. I was at a family dinner, maybe day 75, and I remember feeling genuinely irritated at people just laughing and enjoying food. Like, don't you know what I'm building? Brother, that's not enlightenment. That's just a different kind of ego wearing a spiritual costume. The ancient Brahmacharya texts were very clear on this. Celibacy without humility is just repression with a superiority complex attached. The Taoist masters talked about the same thing. The energy you retain must be circulated upward through cultivation practices, not hoarded and weaponized into arrogance. The dark side here is real. Some men use retention as a crutch, as an identity. And when the streak breaks, and for many it does, their entire sense of self collapses with it.
The flatline. Nobody posts about this one on Reddit because it feels embarrassing. But around weeks 2 through 5, many men experience what's called a flatline. Your libido doesn't just decrease, it disappears. You feel emotionally numb. Motivation tanks. The energy you were promised? Gone. You feel like a shell. I hit my first flatline at day 18 and genuinely thought I had broken something in myself. I wasn't even sure I wanted to continue. The colors of life felt muted. I didn't want to train, didn't want to talk to anyone. This is your brain recalibrating. Your dopamine receptors, which were overstimulated for potentially years, are healing. The flatline is actually a sign that the process is working, but if you don't know it's coming, it can feel like failure. Wet dreams and the shame spiral. Let's talk about something that's almost never discussed without judgment. Wet dreams. If you're on a long streak, they're going to happen for most men. It's biological. Your body has a release mechanism that doesn't ask for your permission. The dark side isn't the wet dream itself. It's what happens mentally after. I've seen men, and experienced it myself, spiral into shame, frustration, and self-criticism after a nocturnal emission that they had zero conscious control over. They reset their counter. They feel like they lost. Some quit entirely. Here's the truth. A wet dream is not a relapse. The Taoists and the yogic traditions both acknowledge this. It is an involuntary function. What matters is your waking intention and your conscious behavior. If you wake up, feel the shame, and then consciously go seek out stimulation to finish the job, that's the problem. But a dream state release, that's your body doing maintenance. Give yourself grace. Here's the part where I'm going to be brutally straight with you. Semen retention is not a magic pill. It is not a replacement for therapy if you need it. It is not going to fix social anxiety you've never addressed. It is not going to make women fall into your arms if you don't actually work on yourself as a human being. Some men use this practice to avoid real problems. They obsess over their streak counter instead of going to the gym. They talk about retention in online forums instead of building real relationships. They use the spiritual language of Brahmacharya to justify isolation and call it discipline. That's not the path. That's avoidance with a noble-sounding label on it. The real practice, the one that actually changes you, combines retention with action, with hard physical training, with cold exposure, with meaningful work, with honest relationships, with some form of meditation or breath work to actually move that built-up energy through your body. Without those things, the retained energy has nowhere to go, and stagnant energy in the body and in life becomes toxic. All right, so how do you actually navigate this? Here's what worked for me, and what I've seen work for men in this community. Tip 1. Have an energy redirection plan before you start. Know exactly what you're going to do with the surplus. For me, it was weights in the morning, breath work at night, and a creative project I was building. If you don't have a container for the energy, it will find its own outlet, and you won't like it. Tip 2. Track mood, not just days. The streak counter becomes a trap. Start journaling, even just 3 sentences a day. Watch your emotional patterns. That data is more valuable than your day count. Tip 3. When the flatline hits, move your body. Don't isolate. Don't Netflix your way through it. Get outside, train, sweat. The flatline breaks faster when your lymphatic system is moving and your body is physically challenged. Tip 4. Practice humility deliberately. Call your parents. Help someone with nothing to gain. Volunteer. Do something that puts you in service of others. This keeps the ego inflation in check and grounds the spiritual energy in something real. Tip 5. Learn box breathing, or the microcosmic orbit from Taoist practice. This is the actual technology for moving sexual energy upward, through your spine, into your chest, into your mind.
It's not mystical. It's breath work combined with body awareness. It makes a tangible difference. Look, I'm not here to scare you off this path. I'm here because I believe in it. I've lived it. The version of me that started this practice a year ago and the version speaking to you right now, genuinely different men, in the best possible way. But the journey is real, and real journeys have dark stretches. The valley before the mountain, the storm before the clarity. The men who come out the other side of this practice aren't the ones who never struggled. They're the ones who stayed honest about the struggle and kept moving anyway. You're not weak because it got hard. You're awake because you noticed. Keep going.
All right, guys. If this video hit different, if it said something you needed to hear, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps more men find this content who need it. Drop your current streak in the comments, or if you don't have one yet, drop your biggest struggle with this practice. I read every single one. No judgment down there, only real talk. Subscribe if you're new. I put out videos like this every week. No fluff, no fake hype, just the real work. And check the pinned comment. I've left something down there I think you'll find useful for your journey. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, brother.